If you've been watching my videos for some time now, you know that I'm the biggest Redditor out there, except for my Discord mods, who I pay in Reddit gold. The website is filled with so many disturbing secrets, from weird accounts to scary stories and urban legends to, I'm not gonna lie to you, even people who don't upvote big chunks. Now again, in this video too, my face is not gonna be here the whole time because, you know, the views have spoken and you guys don't like it as much. But thank you to all the nice comments that are saying you do like my face. Maybe I'll start trying to put my face in there some more. I don't know. Let me know in the comments this time. But anyways, today we're gonna be going over a disturbing Reddit post's Iceberg. What mysteries will we uncover tonight? Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and hold your Reddit gold tight as we go into the depths of Reddit. That evil farming game. That evil farming game refers to a post made by Reddit user Sparta213 about a memory of a forgotten video game where the player had killed their wife and had to farm while hiding the body. The game was said to be like Harvest Moon, but with those dark qualities and extra gameplay, consisting of stopping police and other people from finding the wife's body and discovering the secret. The OP stated several other things regarding the game, like it not being 3D, being from the 2000s, and other gameplay aspects. Multiple other Reddit accounts also talked about this mysterious game, or at least games very similar. Throughout the years, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, Redditors chipped in with their theories and potential games. The theories ranged from the game being real but in an obscure corner of the internet, being a troll and not existing in general, being not real but made up due to misremembering various forms of media, and being part of a dream. And it was not until 2021 when the final answer would come. One person made the theory that Sparta saw a specific video animation clip of a Vinesauce Joel stream. In the stream, Joel talks about the Nintendo 64 game Body Harvest and the fact that it sounds like it would be the title to a Dark Harvest Moon game. He would then go on to explain and make up more details about this imaginary game, killing your wife and hiding her body while farming.
It honestly, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Harvest Moon, but with like corpses. And midway in the game, you have an argument with your wife, and you accidentally kill her with like a barbecue kebab rack.
This theory was later confirmed by Sparta213, stating that he frequently slept to Vinesauce videos and it sounded exactly like what he remembered. While not being the best outcome, it was at least still a win for the people who were investigating the mystery. YayVideoGames. YayVideoGames refers to a Reddit account that goes by the same name. For quite some time, this account was very normal, posting on gaming subreddits for a few years. An unexpected turn would be taken in 2010 in a post about the Elder Scrolls Online Oblivion mods. In the post, YayVideoGames made a joke about the only good mod for Oblivion being the uninstall button. Quote, "The uninstall button. The game is great and all that, but God, it's hard to fully remove the junk it leaves behind in your system. You really need to check out that mod when the time comes to get rid of it. Otherwise, I think Oscuro's Oblivion overhaul is a nice start." This was the last normal comment YayVideoGames made, with him going on to say, quote, "The uninstall button. The game is great. Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye, always on DRM, but you oft go work, always on work DR. Check out the junk it leaves behind in you." And he said that to someone who was confused about the previous comment. The phrase Ubisoft goes Steamworks bye-bye was used in nearly all comments that followed by YayVideoGames. For a few hours after the original comment, YayVideoGames would make thousands of more comments based on the phrase, all being typed differently. The differences in the comments reveal that this isn't the work of a bot account, but a real person typing every comment. Some comments had embed links to images, most of which had no exact purpose. One of the weirder images posted was a paper with the phrase written multiple times, adding to the mystery of what the fuck was going on with YayVideoGames. Throughout the years following this original incident, many people looked into YayVideoGames, finding many alt accounts that either definitely belonged to him or most likely did. It was not until 2018 where a friend of YayVideoGames came out in the subreddit discussing the account with news of his identity and unfortunate passing. Lyndon Watchell was the name of YayVideoGames, and he passed away in 2015 due to suicide. In the post made by his friend Luke, he explained the background of Lyndon as a Jehovah's Witness and the chronic illness he had. Colby. The entry of Colby refers to a 2012 Ask Reddit post about a father's dog named Colby. Just a quick heads up before I go any further into this entry is about the sexual abuse of an animal. So if you really don't want to to hear about that, just double tap the screen a few times. This isn't very long. The title of the post is, "I think my teenage son may have sodomized our dog. I'm not sure what to do. Help me, Reddit." And starts off with the father talking about his 7-year-old Labrador dog becoming withdrawn and almost depressed. The father took Colby to the vet, worried, and soon found out he was sodomized. The father didn't know who it could be, thinking of neighbors and gardeners before getting the terrible feeling that it may be his own son. With dread of what he might find, the father decides to go through the son's room for evidence. He didn't find any evidence until he looked at his search history and found bestiality sites. The son admits to using a hairbrush and his fingers on the dog, but stopped after freaking out. The father told his son that they would find him a way to get therapy without letting the mom know about what happened, and made him promise to never do it again, but that unfortunately didn't happen. 2 months passed until the next post, and the title instantly clued people in on the horrors that occurred. "I am the father and Redditor whose son sodomized our dog with a hairbrush 2 months ago. He's done it again and don't know what to do. Please help." In the post, he talks about finding his son in the backyard with the dog, molesting it while playing tug of war. He then states he might need to tell the wife about it before ending the post. In the edit updates, he says, "So basically my family was torn apart today over a dog. I need a beer or something. As for rehousing the dog, I suspect we'll probably have to do that, but there's a lot we need to sort through first. I'm sure there is an uncomfortable family meeting in our future. Thanks for the advice and for being there, Reddit." The wife was upset after being told about it and being in the dark about the situation, leaving the house to stay with her sister. The son just made a hot pocket and stayed in his room. Another 2 months passed after this post for the next one to be made. In the third post, the father states that the wife started denying it ever happening, taking the son's side that he never did anything to Colby, and even started to say that the father was the one to sodomize and molest the dog. The father didn't get to take Colby when he decided to live with a friend, and the dog ended up staying with the wife and, more worrying, the son. The wife also decided to get separated with the father because of this incident. The fourth post came with good news. The wife called him saying that Colby bit the son. The father states that Colby is a very friendly dog and would never bite anyone without being provoked, meaning that the son, in fact, did try to molest Colby again. He went to pick up the dog to take it away, being confronted by the wife, who desperately apologized for everything. The father decided that he would stay alone with the dog so he can ensure nothing can happen to him again. This was the only update for a while after the posts. An MAA, or Ask Me Anything, was made, but it was deleted, and only one comment was left in 2018 talking about Colby. Colby passed away a year before in 2017 due to natural causes. The father and his son were in a better position than they were 6 years prior, and the father hoped that his son isn't into that type of behavior anymore. As for the wife, they got separated and she got therapy after losing her job. Rumors of drugs were being said about her, but the father didn't want to go into that for his son's sake. As for the father, he is happily with another woman and her son. This story is disgusting and scary, but I'm glad Colby got the help that he needed. It was so crazy to me that the wife would believe his son so easily instead and twist it back on the father, only to beg for forgiveness in the end. Key lime pie rabbit hole. The key lime pie rabbit hole refers to the vast amount of comments made on blogs about a specific key lime recipe from a place called Captain Coochie's Key West Cafe. The comments often praise the pie as being the best in the world, having properties like increasing the size of one's Johnson, if you know what I mean, and other things. A lot of the posts are full of wordplay and puns, feeling almost botted. The cafe was found to be an actual cafe that was located in Asheville, North Carolina, but it closed in around 2006, while the comments started in 2009. From 2009 to 2016, there were a ton of posts, all being weird and different comments until 2013, where repeated messages were being sent all over the web. There were a lot of theories on this mystery, from it being an ARG or a troll, to being a spam bot, a way for the Coochie's owners to cover up bad publicity, to all the posts being the result of someone mentally ill. The spam bot theory is the first to go in someone's head, as we've all seen spam bots on the internet. Whenever you see an Instagram DM from a cute girl saying you're beautiful, you always have some hope it's not a bot, but it always falls through. But unlike those bots who post the same exact sentences, the comments about Coochies are often different and include present at the time events. changing posting style, and non-spam-like timeframes for posts. What would even be gained from having a bot posting about key lime pie from a closed cafe? The ARG and troll theories really don't have that much credit to them besides just being really weird and mysterious posts. Coochies was named in a different ARG from North Carolina, but it doesn't connect to like this ARG at all. The most convincing theory is the posts being from someone who is mentally ill. There are many examples of people with mental illness spending a huge amount of time on mysterious posts or websites with cryptic messages. The knowledge of the cafe is too much for someone or a bot to have known without going there before its closure in 2006, and the 7-year period of posting consistently about it is abnormal for a regular enthusiast of the cafe. This rabbit hole still remains a mystery, and we might never know who is behind the posts. 2 broken arms. This entry refers to an AMA, or Ask Me Anything, from 2011 about a Redditor with 2 broken arms and his relationship with his mother because of it. This entry is, of course, sexual in nature, so beware of what is about to be told. The Redditor stated that they were in an accident at 14, being left without much use of his arms anymore. He went from gooning 2 times a day to none, leading to him becoming more irritable and lashing out on his parents. This moment led to his mother helping him out. Yuck. The poster stated that it originally was a more clinical relationship, not being of any sexual desire for each other, but as the poster got better, it still went on well after, even when he turned 17. In that time, it became more sexual and normal to them. The poster also states things like having kissed her before but found it weird, being attracted to his mother before it happened, and the fact that the father was okay with it and first came up with the proposal of the mother helping him. There are a lot of freaks asking him about very specific things. The whole AMA and situation is crazy and weird, but the OP states that this no longer happened and that he was in a relationship with someone not related to him now. Poop scissors. The poop scissors is a classic in the realm of absolutely crazy Reddit stories. When a Redditor was 8, their aunt came to stay, and one day they made a joke to the Redditor's mom about needing scissors because she took too long in the bathroom. They both laughed at it, but for the OP, it was a strange joke. When they asked the aunt what she meant by it, she told the story of her grandparents using shears to cut their poop to not clog the toilet. This was not the end of the story, however, as the shears became a family heirloom, being on a hook in the bathroom of the aunt's apartment. This story is very similar to another Redditor story about their own poop cutting tool, a poop knife. It's a strange thing to have to use, but I guess both posters must have very abnormally large poops. So, respect, bro. Jolly Rancher. The Jolly Rancher story is also another classic, but it is much more gross. This man's girlfriend decided to visit him for a while. Being, people, they decided to get freaky, and he decides to give her some action with his tongue. For a mysterious reason, she didn't smell good at all and tasted worse, so to not upset her, he put a Jolly Rancher in his mouth to mask the taste. Everything was going alright until he lost the Jolly Rancher inside of her. He fished around until he got it out of her, biting down on it when it exploded. The Jolly Rancher he bit down to was, in fact, not a Jolly Rancher at all, but a nodule of gonorrhea instead. Apparently, his girlfriend cheated on him when she was gone and contracted gonorrhea, not knowing that she had it. Genuinely a truly disgusting story. I will never eat a Jolly Rancher again, bro. Cumcoconut. This story is a Tfue story from 2017 about a Redditor impregnating a coconut. The name is exactly what it seems like. Around 2009, this Redditor lived in Mozambique with his mother. His mother was in a health nut phase, buying several coconuts to use in food a week. This fact and the fact that the Redditor was a hormone-filled teenager decided to get resourceful when yanking on his chain. One day he heard that his mother would be out for a whole afternoon, which gave him the idea to do a coconut. Quote, "I can't fathom why I thought that would be a good idea, but my train of thought back then was clearly somewhat clogged. I also don't know why he thought that this would be a good idea. Who looks at a coconut and says, this is a good idea. Maybe it's because nut is in the name." The Redditor spends 20 minutes carving a hole in the coconut to fit his Johnson in and does exactly that. Apparently, this is a really good way to get off because he puts the coconut under his bed and uses it almost every day for a week. because it has such a, and I quote, delightfully tight hole. Because of the time the story takes place, the area of Mozambique they were in was frequently terrorized by fat, bloated flies. After that initial week of coconutting, the Redditor sees an increase in flies and a disgusting smell coming from his room, specifically from the coconut. He decides to use it one last time before throwing it away, but that was a big mistake. For unexplainable reasons, this Redditor didn't think that maybe the reason more flies were about was because this coconut has become a perfect place to lay eggs in. Being ignorant, he puts his Johnson in the coconut but feels a wriggling sensation. Pulling it out, he discovers that it is covered in maggots, moldy butter, and his own juices. Seeing them trying to go inside of, the D hole, the pee hole, he screams and makes an even worse mistake, throwing the coconut, having the inside spill out. I will never look at a coconut the same way ever again. Guys, I swear I'm not making this up. Like, this next one is called Cumbox. This video, dude, I did not know what I was getting into, and I decided to make this video. Oh my god. Okay, Cumbox. This is a Reddit story that came from an r/AskReddit post in 2012. The original post was titled, "Throwaway Time. What's your secret that could literally ruin your life if it came out?" With a post like this, you know some absolutely nasty, disgusting, and intriguing things are gonna come out. And that's exactly what this story is. The throwaway account, which is now deleted, originally stated, "Cousin died when we were both 17. There was a reception at his house just after the funeral. I went into his house and stole all the money that was there, took some other valuables that his parents wouldn't realize were gone. No one knows that I did it. They just assumed he didn't have any money in his room, only loose change. I don't regret it, but I will never admit I did it." This sounds like a normal story, not disgusting like the coconut. Definitely interesting though, stealing money from a dead cousin. What was said next is what sparked the curiosity of others to ask further. Quote, "Also my cumbox," unquote. This is said so nonchalantly for something so insane. It seems like something that you would want to take to the grave, especially if it could ruin your life if it came out, but the Redditor elaborated on it so easily. Well, it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a shoebox, or at least once was, and whenever I masturbate, I come into it. I've had it for 2 or 3 years now, I think, and it has a fair amount of cum. It smells atrocious, and I tried to burn it once. When I lit it on fire, it was too damp because of the cum that it simply sizzled and didn't manage to actually light up. Turns out burning cum smells awful, so I had to spray it with a deodorant body spray just to get the old smell of burnt cum away. It also has some drenched paper stuck to it. That's pretty much it. I don't know why this person decided to do this with a shoebox. It's odd to me that someone would think of doing this at all. Like, why a shoebox and why use it multiple times? What's with the fascination of doing it on something and then keeping said item? It's a big health hazard. I'm sure if you're doing that, your health and cleanliness isn't the best anyways. Maybe from shame, he tried burning the box to get rid of it, but the box was like a swamp, damp and dirty, not being able to get burnt. Any kids that were still alive in the box turned cemetery, were cremated, and then sprayed with Axe body spray. What a bad way to go. Apparently, this being his greatest shame did not stop him from linking pictures of his box, which I'm not gonna look at. No way. A little while later, he came back with an edit revealing some more information and a look into his beautiful mind. A lot of people are asking me why. Well, I'm apparently a rather disturbed individual, but it just kinda happened. Bought new shoes and needed some place to come, used the box. It escalated from there. Kept using it each time, telling myself I would throw it out soon. Never did. 2 or 3 years later, I still have it. It wasn't planned or anything, it just happened. What do you mean you needed a place and just kept using the same box? For 3 years, the homunculus in this box was being made and every attempt to throw it away failed? I don't even think you can or should throw this away normally. It needs special treatment like radioactive waste. There is no reason to do this, but he did, like a mad scientist. And like all mad scientists do, he created life. Quote, "I often get PM'd about updates or current status of the box, generally a few a week. So I might as well update this post if anyone even gets linked here anymore. Current status, I have created life. Mold has begun to grow in the box and has taken over a fair amount. Smells a bit worse, mainly due to a damper apartment, so it does not dry as fast. Hence the reason why the mold has begun," unquote. As a result of mad scientist experiments or disgusting Reddit behavior, life has sprung up from this box. When the Redditor moved to a new apartment, the damper environment, most closely to the natural habitat of Mom's basement, This has allowed the specimen to flourish in the box, molding like lunch lychees. And of course, he attaches an image of it, which I'm still not going to look at. I hope this Redditor and his new son live happily. Genuinely though, bro, like, you moved. Why didn't you abandon the fucking box? Swamps of Dagobah. Sticking with the absolutely disgusting entries, the Swamps of Dagobah is unfortunately not talking about Star Wars Episode 5, but instead a story from r/Ask Reddit in 2012. This post was made asking doctors/nurses/redditors, what has been your most gory, disgusting, or worst medical experience? The story came from a reply by user Banzai Panda, or an OR nurse. They got a call at 2 a.m. one night for general surgery, and going to the hospital revealed that it was a perirectal abscess, or a pocket of pus, located near the butthole that needed to be drained. Not fun at all to wake up at 2 a.m. for. The patient was, quote, a 314-pound Native American woman who barely fit on the stretcher I was transporting her on. And, quote, she was rolling frantically side to side and moaning in pain, pulling at her clothes and muttering Hail Marys. The Redditor believes that it's best to just bring the woman to the anesthesiologist to be knocked out for an easier operation. It took them nearly 10 minutes to get to the OR room, while she was continuing to roll around, even almost falling off the surgical table as they were trying to put her under anesthetics. Once she was out, she was put into stirrups and the Redditor got to cleaning the rectal area, noting that it was inflamed with pus seeping through, due to her injecting drugs through her perineum. After it was cleaned, the surgeon inserted the tip of the scalpel to drain the pus when her diaphragm muscle twitched, causing a mixture of pus, fecal matter, and rotting tissue to come shooting out. Apparently, the infection was worse than anyone thought, going almost a foot deep into that woman's abdomen, filled with a disgusting mixture. The scene was described as that funeral scene from the 1998 movie Mafia, where they all throw up after seeing Tony Cortino's disfigured face after a car bomb during his father's funeral. The outfits of waterproof gowns, face masks, glove hats, etc. helped little against the projectile mixture, with it shooting out as far as 7 feet to the wall of the room. As the surgeon cut more into the patient, she kept shooting out the liquid, with it shooting out more violently as she seized on the operating table. The amount of liquid that was coming out was so bad that it started seeping into the shoes of the various nurses. The second nurse dry heaved while the surgeon stood on his tiptoes. At that same moment, the smell hit them, causing one of the nurses to throw up in their masks and the other one to run out of the room still heaving. The Redditor then had the smell hit them, describing it as, quote, getting a great big bite of the despair and apathy that permeated this woman's life. The anesthesiologist went outside next as a gush of pus came out in front of the surgeon. Imagine being him, bro. You're at the ground zero of this disgusting pus, flesh, poop, horror mixture geyser, having to cut deeper and release more of it as you tank the smell and try not to get it in your shoes. Knowing that in almost all hospitals there are bottles of peppermint concentrate for these situations to block out the smell, the Redditor runs to where it would be, but when they opened the drawer, it was empty. Someone must have emptied the supply and not replaced any of it at all, with such unfortunate timing. The Redditor found the next best thing, a vial of Madisol and adhesive rub used for bandaging. It wasn't nearly good enough as the peppermint concentrate, but when you're up against horrors beyond anyone's imagination's level of smells, it will have to make do. Both the Redditor and the anesthesiologist used the Madisol to mask what smell it could, which had seeped out of the OR room and into the hallway, and even 40 feet down to the front desk. Meanwhile, the room was so filled with sludge that it reminded the Redditor of the river of slime from Ghostbusters 2. The surgeon must not be having a good time without any Madisol and having to do this procedure that is covering everything around him with a gross mixture. This is where the story gets its iconic name, as the Redditor states that, quote, he was performing surgery in the swamps of Dagobah, except the swamps had just come out of this woman's ass and there was no Yoda. For the next 10 agonizing minutes, both the Redditor and the surgeon stayed in silence in the room as he scraped the remaining dead tissue from the abscess, having his gown coated in a mixture of red and brown liquids, like some sort of butcher's apron or Halloween costume. The Redditor finished their paperwork and helped the surgeon with closing the woman's wound and shipping her off to the recovery ward. The Redditor then states that, quote, 70% isopropyl alcohol is about the only thing that can even touch a scent like that once it's soaked into your skin. It takes 4 or 5 bottles to get it really clean, but it's worth it. And that the surgeon said, quote, that was bad to the situation, a very big understatement. The next morning, the entire department still smelled like the liquid, having taken a full hour to suction up all the fluid and debris from the woman, and needing to be quarantined for 2 days to let the smell go away. The Redditor ends off the comment with, quote, TLDR, don't shoot IV drugs into your taint. A very good statement. This is one of the worst stories I've ever read. I definitely wouldn't want to have been in the same situation or place as all those nurses and the surgeon. I would never feel clean again. Quiet pills. The Lake City Quiet Pills mystery is a big mystery that doesn't fully take place on Reddit. It's a mystery that tries to connect a Redditor that goes by the username Religion of Peace to a website that went by LakeCityQuietPills.com and an assassination of a Hamas officer in 2010. Religion of Peace, or Milo, was an older man who joined Reddit in 2009. Known for his stories of being in the military until 1987, political posts and comments, programming knowledge, etc., he was well known at the time. He was a moderator for a Not Safe for Work subreddit and had a programming experience, posting in the r/programming subreddit frequently. His age is pretty unknown, with him having said he turned 70 in July and at other times being 79. In a post about Imgur being slow, he replied telling the poster to use his image hosting site called That Old Guy's Image Host. This may sound like an ordinary image hosting site name, but the domain name was LakeCityQuietPills.com. A weird choice indeed. On July 17th, 2009, a Redditor by the name user2-6 posted news of Milo's passing, saying, Milo was a mean old fucker, mean and ornery. He hooked me up with my first gig when I got out of the army. I didn't like finding him like that. Milo didn't have any living relatives and no real friends, and other than his landlady and a few people where he worked, he didn't talk to anyone about much of anything. Me, he just tolerated. As I said, he was mean. I think he used that as a shield to keep people away from him. Milo thought God was some kind of con game thought up by some lazy sons of bitches who didn't want to work every day. So he's going into the fire on Monday without a service just like he wanted. I'm planning to dump his ashes in the woods in PA near where he was born. Can't put them right there because there's a mall there now. I gave the girl next door his raggedy old cat and most of his books. His computers and electronic shit he tagged for the disabled vets and VVA. All the rest of this stuff is for the Salvation Army. All those years and everything he owned fits in the trunk of my car. I don't know what else to say. I'll miss him, miserable bastard. It wasn't long until Redditors connected this 2-6 account to an account on the website fark.com by the name of Angel2-6. The bio of the account reads, dispensing Lake City Quiet Pills to lousy bastards in need of permanent rest since 1968. Obviously, these two had a connection with Lake City Quiet Pills, and going to the Lake City Quiet Pills website and viewing the source code revealed that there were 2 messages hidden in the HTML code, including that same motto the bio of Angel2-6 had. And here are the quotes. Shade is maintaining the calendar and had access to file dump. Angel has the job postings for EU and Asia. We aren't sending anyone to ME. No one. Don't ask for listings. Immediate need. 8 to 10 Chinese/Korean. Fluent Korean/dialect/accent details after contact. 12-week half-pay sequester on refusal. 2 ground types, fluent Farsi, Arabic, French, no papers, no problems, and needed formed group 8 to 10, single op, to live bonus, gentleman's agreement, insurance, immediate need. This image hosting site, which housed almost only NSFW images, held a deeper secret within itself that was not discovered for a while. It seemed that these messages were clearly of some kind of military or assassination contracting, with the motto dispensing Lake City Quiet Pills to lousy bastards in need of permanent rest since 1968, making it more evident. The military background of both Milo and Angel2-6 help as well. The website even had a message from Angel talking about Milo's death, both in the secret message code and on the website itself, stating that he was born in January of 1930, not July like he previously stated. The usage of the phrase quiet pills in the name is most likely a euphemism for the term bullet. All the evidence points towards his website hosting shady and illegal assassination contracting. On the 12th of January 2010, a post was made on the website about a birthday party held for Milo on the 19th. Quote, Happy New Year, everyone. We were having a birthday party for the old man on the 19th. Party starts at 1500 at the usual. Send your RSVP to Shade. FYI, we're booking a room for 3 days for anyone coming from out of area and overnight for locals. Come hoist one for Dutch Milo, unquote. And the day before, another post was made saying, quote, We got 38 rooms in the Marriott on 46. Shade has the key cards for locals, pick up at the party. Give your travel name to the desk and that's it. No ID needed since we're covering the bill. Keep the room service under 500, okay? The rooms there are not secure. Bus from the hotel leaves at 13:30. Car service vouchers for return trip when you're ready to crash. Don't DUI, unquote. On the 19th, a strategic assassination was made on Hamas officer Mahmoud al-Mabhou in Dubai. A handful of people under fake passports fly to Dubai on the 19th, going to various hotels in Dubai to check for where Mahmoud checked in. Along the way, multiple changed their look to disguise themselves. Mahmoud checked into a hotel at 3:25, and while he left to shop, snuck into his room, waited for his return to kill him. On February 2nd, another message was made in the source code of the Lake City Quiet Pills website, talking about the cost of the party. Quote, here's the final for the party. Hotel rooms 48341, limo 6080, bus 569, bar billed 188090, food 8030, dancers 8300, miscellaneous tips 850, miscellaneous EXP 2840, med supplies 180, Fat Tommy and Stewart OK2, total 94,080. You all did Dutch Milo proud, thanks, unquote. $94,000 is a lot to spend on a party, which makes it very sus. Imposter. People started linking the messages and the assassination together, which made the openly viewable messages be encrypted over and over until they abandoned the website for communication that way. Some of the suspects caught in the assassination of Mahmoud had credit cards that were from Storm Lake, Iowa, which is close to another town in Iowa, Lake City. Clearly, this is a super sus and clear story of the true intentions of Lake City Quiet Pills, and for a long time after 2009 and 2010, it seemed that way. But what if I told you there was more to this? In 2022, the YouTuber Nexpo uploaded an hour-long video about the Lake City Quiet Pills mystery. In that video, he did some extra digging and made more connections with Lake City Quiet Pills and other websites, even hiring private investigators in the video. In the video, past the information I had gone over, Nexpo started talking about Milo's age. In one Reddit post, he said he would be 70 in July, while every other post said 79. This is easily explainable by the numbers 0 and 9 being right next to each other, like on the keyboard, but on the Lake City Quiet Pills website, it specifically said his birthday was January 20th, 1930, not July. July, however, was the date of his death, so the first thought is that maybe Milo's death was premeditated, maybe by 26. The accounts of 26 on Reddit and Angel26 on Fark and other sites had different writing styles, with the Reddit account closely resembling Milo's, making the mystery even stranger. He decided to poke around the archives of Lake City Quiet Pills, noticing that the images that were still viewable all had a watermark to a different image hosting site, also centering around NSFW content. The forums for this website held a thread created in 2010 by 26 in April, with the first comment talking about Lake City Quiet Pills being put back up. People thanked 26 and praised them for all their hard work, especially because 26 wasn't making any money from having the website back up. A specific user that goes by Satan666 was one of the people to thank 26. The next month, there was a dispute about the website acting slow and 26 not knowing what the problem was, troubleshooting it. This Satan666 dude is a real glazer for 26, thanking him and talking about wanting to pay for server costs, even though Milo supposedly left 25 grand to 26 in his will. In October of 2010, Satan666 shared the news with people of 26's death, sharing that Shade, a name that was mentioned in those source code chats, told Satan that 26 had a stroke and fell into a coma. He was taken off of life support at the 31st of that month, and Satan shared the news of someone else taking up 26's mantle as the owner of Lake City Quiet Pills image hosting site. That replacement would be someone by the name of JP4 until August of 2011, when it would be traded off by 4 other people until it got into the hands of a woman that went by the name Madam Meow. Nexpo did some digging into the chats between that time and found new information about where the website was being hosted. In 2011, Hurricane Irene and an October snowstorm affected the servers of the website, both of which happened in the northeastern part of the United States. Another piece of evidence that Nexpo found was an announcement shared telling people to run a trace route terminal command, a diagnostic tool used to show how data is moved through the servers to the PC using that command to test server issues. The IP address provided was able to be traced to the state of New Jersey. For the years after its closure in 2014, the Lake City Quiet Pills website was plagued with server issues and other problems, with no other secret job postings in the source code being made. Why would they continue to run this website if it didn't have any real use to them after giving up on encrypting the messages in the source code? I don't know. At the end of 2014, 26JP and all the other accounts who had owned the website had stopped posting, all except Madam Meow. Nextpo's next investigation turns to the origins of the Lake City Quiet Pills website. The website went as far back as 2004, but it was a placeholder website. Looking at the URL registration details, the website was originally purchased with the domain crystalwind.com. The domain has its own history with links to Lake City Quiet Pills. This website was used by a company called Crystal Wind Consulting by the owner Mike. Remember that name, it's important. The company Crystal Wind Consulting worked exclusively with businesses in New Jersey and New York City for website hosting. From the first archive of the website onward, there were multiple changes, some being very political in nature, like an archive in 1998 talking about Bill Clinton, and another after the 9/11 terrorist attacks in 2001, where the whole website changes with the messages aimed at the people who did the terrorist attack in a pretty racist way. It stayed as that page for years until 2004. As we know, Religion of Peace was also a frequent talker of politics, but this is something vast that you can't really say that is definite for one person. What is known is that both the Crystal Wind and Lake City Quiet Pills website both directed to that same placeholder site in 2004. While LakeCityQuietPills.com stayed as a website until 2009, CrystalWind.com did not, changing a few times over the years. The contents of Crystal Wind during that time were 3D models, both regular and fetish-like models. Looking into one of the 3D model zip folders, Nexpo found a website that redirected to more 3D model marketplaces, specifically fetish-centered models, and a thank you note for someone going by Trent the Thief. What is also known is that Angel26 used ZBrush, a 3D modeling software. Looking into this even more, Nexpo found an email thread from 1997 which had a reply from the owner of Crystal Wind, Mike, using the email Trent@crystalwind.com. All of this is not a coincidence. Clearly it shows that not all these people are real. Mike, Trent, Milo, and 26, all presumably different people, had evidence pointing to them being the same person. From the aliases of Mike as Trent the Thief to the evidence pointing towards the same weird behavior regarding politics with Mike and Religion of Peace, and the shared interest in 3D modeling, web hosting, etc., and the shared writing style of the different accounts. These details all come into play as Nexpo makes the argument that they are the same person. Wanting to figure out if this is the definite answer to the mystery, Nexpo hired multiple private investigators, finding an old email of Angel26 and reverse searching it to find that it was in fact tied to the same Mike from Crystal Wind. The mystery was mostly solved. Milo was in fact not a real person, having lived an extraordinary and outlandish life that seemed too crazy to be true. Nexpo makes a theory that because Milo was a moderator for a very controversial NSFW subreddit and hosted his own image hosting site with the potential to house illegal content, he had to kill off his Milo character to get away with it all. The death of the Milo persona would be made public by another one of his many burner names, 26, who would also die a year later, tying up the knots for the personas. The strange messages in the source code was just a huge coincidence. Happening at the same time as an assassination is crazy, especially with messages making it seem like it really is some illegal mercenary work. For years, people speculated about this mystery, thinking it truly was what it looked like, all for Nexpo to do some digging to find a really credible theory. I left out a small bit of what was in the end of his video about an event that happened in 2017 that hurts the credibility of his theory a bit. But if you want a lot more detail, I guess, in like a more cinematic video, go watch Nexpo's video after this one if you want. It's a very long, watch, and it's pretty crazy. Okay, here's a note in my script. This is the end of the second layer of the iceberg, but vigilant point of intersection, or POI viewers, will say, hey, there are still 2 entries needing to be discussed, and you are correct. These entries were omitted, but not entirely, since I'm going to try to explain it just really quick. The user Worthless319, I could very well dedicate his own section to, but I simply couldn't find posts that were still intact after they were all deleted and removed on Reddit. Only his comments are still there, but you need to know the posts to really get a full grasp on it. The gist of it is that Worthless319 is a user who most definitely is mentally ill, speaking about and going through with mutilating his genitals in the name of God. He says he performed 4 mutilations with there being picture proof of the aftermath. It's not gory, but the lack of definition of them when you can definitely tell where it would be is nasty. Apparently, he shot himself with a gun 4 times, burning the wounds, cutting more off, and cooking it. I believe he said he ate it too, but this was written way after looking into it, so I'm not positive. And then Eric and Annie, this is what I believe to be some sort of AI chatbots interacting with each other on Reddit. I couldn't really find much except for Eric's account, which said to have over 30,000 comment karma gained, meaning bro posted a lot of comments. And the pictures and comments I read didn't make any sense. My writer research guy said he was very bored looking at this, so he didn't think it deserved its own entry. And so yeah, with that we are done with this iceberg for now. If this video does well, there are so many other disturbing Reddit threads I can go through, so if you guys want to see more, get this video to maybe 50,000 views, maybe 100,000 views, maybe more. Leave a like, leave a comment saying you want more, and I'll definitely make more for you guys because this shit is fun to research. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe so you can see more and check out my other videos. But with that, I hope you all have a great night. Sweet dreams. Hey guys, I'm back, and I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that watched the very end. I really appreciate it, and let me know in the comments your feedback. You know, I want to make these videos better for you guys. So do you like the gameplay in the background? Do you like the new editing style? Do you like the new videos I'm trying to do with the Gen Z trauma and this Reddit shit? Let me know what kind of videos you guys want to see, because I obviously want to make videos that my viewers want to see, you know? I mean, I want to make you guys happy. So let me know what you want to see, and again, be sure to join my Discord, follow my Instagram, all that shit, and thank you so much for the support. I love you guys so much. And again, have a great night and sweet dreams.